Stop looking at your own phone.
I just know I'm going to forget the director's name.
Oh.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
My name's Darren.
And I'm Graham.
And I have seen recently, and you've seen at some point in your life, the film The Purge.
Yes, The Purge.
Do you remember the story of The Purge?
I remember the story.
Okay, tell us the story.
Well,
That wasn't the end of the conversation. Do you remember the story? Yes.
I was hoping
okay, let's move
the end
on.
of the conversation.
That was an indication that you should tell us the story.
It's basically America, the only country where this would actually happen.
Is it just America? Yeah, I think it is just America.
They decide to pass a law which allows people to commit all manners of violence, and they remove all the other laws.
It's basically a
one
free-for-all night.
Yes.
One night a year, you can do whatever you like.
Yeah, it's like it's your birthday on that day.
Is that what you do on your birthday?
You can do whatever you want that day.
But
however, other people...
in terms of the law...
Yes.
Yeah, it's not like you just get a cake.
No, you don't just get a cake. No, you might get attacked.
Yeah, you might get your throat slit.
So the point is, it's everybody's birthday and everybody's doing what they want to do. And
yeah, some people are going out and killing people, but other people are just sitting off inside and hoping nobody comes to kill them. And the point is that apparently America has got such repressed rage that this purge night allows everyone to just vent it, and then they're happy for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And it's improved crime rates and employment and stuff like that.
Mm.
So yeah, so that's that. Oh, and so we're following Ethan Hawke.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken over from you.
Yeah.
And he's a security salesman who's doing particularly well out of this. And on Purge night, he decides to settle into his fort with his family to sit it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of the film?
I think I didn't like it very much.
Oh no!
As far as I remember.
When did you see it? How was it? When it was at the cinema?
Yes.
So it's about 2 years since you saw it, maybe 3.
Yeah.
What did you not like about it?
As far as I remember, I didn't like it because it was just rubbish. It started off with a semi-interesting idea, and just played it out really poorly. Like, I just didn't get it. Like,
you didn't get it.
It's just I didn't know why they chose to follow that family and that story and stuff like that. Like, I understand that he's as you say, he's working in this home security kind of thing and stuff, and that's where all the exposition comes out because he wants.
Yeah, but you could have had the exposition come out I think it was from a news reporter.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like the news saying like tonight is purge night, lock your doors or get your machetes ready?
Possibly, yeah, but I mean more of the like because they talk about how when people are killed, then that means that there's a job opening, really, technically.
Well,
so
yeah, but then they go on to say that it's mostly the poor that get killed.
Yeah.
So it's not so much that
the CEOs and the executives.
Yeah, but it hasn't improved unemployment because there are now more jobs for the unemployed. It's that all the unemployed have been murdered.
Yeah, more jobless people.
Which is fine, and that is the key because the idea is ripe for satire. And
you would think so.
Yeah, but it doesn't go down that route.
No.
I mean, like, it's sort of hints towards it, like a kind of, awareness of what's going on around and how that relates to our actual life in real life.
Yeah.
But then it just ignores it really in favour of a home invasion movie.
Yeah, which is kind of tried and tested, and it generally works because there's not so much you can do wrong about it.
It's just a sort of subgenre, isn't it? So it works for some films and doesn't for others. For example, a good home invasion movie would be Straw Dogs, and a bad version would be Straw Dogs the remake.
I haven't seen the remake actually.
No, you don't need to.
Okay, good.
You've seen the original?
Yeah.
You don't need to see the remake.
With the Hoff.
With the Hoff, yes, starring the Hoff and a 20-minute rape scene, which is uncomfortable to watch with a person in the room who's clearly aroused by it. That wasn't you for a change. It was another person we watched it with.
I was aroused, but
okay. We didn't
I
show
wasn't
it, which
making
is
it
polite.
obvious. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I knew it was going to come up, so I chugged one out before the film started.
And during, and just before.
Anyway, so
going back to that, our friend was quite fidgety in the pant area, wasn't he? He wasn't.
Well, I don't know. It was you that told me. I wasn't looking at his pants.
I remember quite vividly actually, and he was just uncomfortable, kind of trying to
squirming,
get the straight lines on his pants to be straight again. Not that they were.
So tempted to say the person's name.
Anyway,
so Alex,
the reason the male that we know.
The reason I wanted to watch this film was because I love John Carpenter, the director.
Yes.
And this felt very much like it could be a John Carpenter film.
Whoever told you that it was similar?
Nobody told me. I knew the plot sounded like it could be a Carpenter plot.
Yeah.
And there's loads of movies coming out at the minute that are clearly inspired by him. Like he's the director of Halloween and The Thing and stuff. If you're a, tit and you don't know. And I was going to say a worse word. I thought, you can't say that word.
Keep it light.
Oh, well, just, Anyway, so there's been loads of films inspired by his films, such as Cold in July, It Follows, The Guest, those kinds of things. And so I wanted to watch another one of them, and I thought The Purge might be that. And I'm kind of right. I think The Purge is 3 John Carpenter films. Why are you screwing your face up?
Nothing, go on, I'm listening.
Okay, so it's Escape from New York, because of the anarchy outside, and it's a free-for-all, like it is in Escape from New York in the giant prison. It's They Live, because you've got the satire of our world contrasting. I'm not saying it did a good version, it's a bad version. And obviously you've got Assault on Precinct 13, which is a home invasion type movie, except in that film it's a Precinct 13. Yeah. So I was clearly right with my, assumption that it would be inspired by John Carpenter's movies.
Yeah.
But I was left thoroughly disappointed.
Yeah.
Mostly because, like you were saying, the setup of the whole one night of or free-for-all crime is kind of ignored in the favour of just a home invasion movie, people trying to get into somebody's home to attack them. Yeah. And you don't need that setup for that, as other home invasion movies have proven by not having that setup.
Yeah.
So
in fact, the best attacks are generally surprise ones, like...
Well, I guess they weren't expecting that.
No, and obviously, you should expect it, surely.
Well...
If you're in that situation...
Well, they were prepared for it, but you don't expect it, do you? You always think it's going to happen to somebody else.
Yeah, I suppose.
Anyway, so the one interesting... Your face felt really close to mine then. The one interesting thing about the film is the setup, but the whole film could happen regardless of that setup, so they don't really explore that setup in any way that's at all, let alone interesting. Yeah. And also, right, Ethan Hawke's in it, and I know Ethan Hawke's a really good actor. I have no doubt about that. I've seen him in Training Day and stuff like that. He's really good in Richard Linklater's movies. But I can't help but always try and work out who he looks like. His face is a bit like a Rorschach test of other people. So
get this picture.
People know what Ethan Hawke looks like.
I can't picture.
Well, he looks a bit like... It could be Guy Pearce, it could be Nick Cave, it could be Kevin Bacon, it could be Tom Waits, it could be David Hasselhoff, or it could be a rat. I've narrowed it down. He looks like all of those things depend on lighting. Oh, that's the other thing, is that the director of this, it was really boring. Like, when I want to watch something inspired by John Carpenter, I want cool lighting, really harsh reds and greens and stuff like that. I want techno thumping kind of dum-dum-dum-dum type of music. Didn't get any of that. It was all just proper flat. It was like it almost felt like a sort of Sunday afternoon soap. Like one of those Mummy's Got Cancer 2-hour dramas they put on starring somebody that used to be famous in about 1972. So it just wasn't very interesting from filming style in terms of its whole idea and running with it, which is interesting because it was written directly by the same person. So you'd think if they've had that initial thought of what about all this, they would then explore it and then film it in a way that is referencing the person they're clearly inspired by. And you don't have to show that you've been inspired by Carpenter, but it's a lot more interesting than what he actually did. So I think they should. And this is the clincher, when you were arguing with me if you were about to, as to whether or not this film was influenced by Carpenter. Well, do you know what else the director of this film has done?
No.
He wrote the remake to Assault on Precinct 13. So clearly he has a vested interest in John Carpenter.
He's awful at his job then.
I heard that was okay, that film. That stars Ethan Hawke as well. Okay as in, like, not awful, not good.
But why just go straight to it? And he's made 2 similar films there, hasn't he?
Well, he only wrote the other one, he didn't direct the other one.
Oh, okay.
I think the other one was directed by John Singleton, but I could be wrong on that.
I've heard him.
He's alright. Sometimes. Not then. And also, if you're going to have a home invasion movie where Lena Headey is one of the people being invaded, why would you have her play the wife who's just trying to protect their child and hide? Clearly she could take out most people. I was just waiting for the bit where she's in the loft and the burglars have got to work their way up the house. And she's speaking in the voiceover thing. She's let them in and locked them in. This is lockdown. In fact, that would still work with Mama's not. I was
going to say that would even just work better in general, as a more interesting film. Like
what, Dread?
Well, yes,
and ironically, Dread is also a sort of Carpenter-esque film. Anti-heroes, techno soundtrack, cool lighting. That's like Escape from New York, that one. Basically, I'm of the conclusion that John Carpenter is one of the most influential directors of all time.
Weirdly,
that is
the unsung hero of this.
I saw a thing on some website somewhere saying that 2014 was the best year for John Carpenter. I don't think he hadn't released a film in a good few years at that point, but it was like the year that Cold in July and The Guest and stuff came out, like a load of things just clearly inspired by him. He's amazing.
Interesting how he's had like a second wave
of being
in a second generation.
He's not making his best films. Other people are making his best films for him. And like I was reading about like the reasons why that might be, and other than the fact that he just made really cool genre movies, all his genre movies had really cool characters at the center of them.
That's true.
As does The Guest and Cold in July and Dread and whatever else. Okay. Not The Purge though.
No,
which is what we're talking about.
So off the back of that, what kind of which directors are you kind of mostly following now, knowing that their styles have kind of taken influence from Carpenter? And
well, I don't necessarily want directors. It's just what films come out having inspired by. I mean, obviously Adam Wingard, the director of The Guest and Your Next, is a Carpenter fan, I suppose.
Yeah.
But not The Purge. To keep going back to The Purge.
Yes.
The Purge was boring. It was all right.
Boring.
As far as home invasion movies goes, it was passable. It was all right. There was a kid in it that was really annoying. Oh, and everything was cliched. Like, if there's a loose end left untied, don't worry, it'll get tied up. So yeah. I
don't remember it that clearly, but I just remembered not enjoying it.
There was just... Do you know if like a character comes up and says, "Hi, that's just not building the world, they're going to come back."
Right, I see, yeah. I see.
If something seemed random an hour and a half ago, you're going to see it again in about a minute.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
No, it was annoying. Because you just knew. And then just as something almost interesting happened, there was like the thing, and then it was just rubbish. I really hated the end. As much as the whole film was boring but average, the end was bloody awful.
Well, this is it.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I've got nothing else to say.
I think you've spoken more than enough for both of us.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Saved me a job, if anything.
Bye.